It's as if somebody had grabbed me by the nape of the neck and said, hey, take notice. So I can't really put words to it, but of course, looking back, there's nothing there, but there's nothing that we could perceive in our dimension.
We used to go to a specific place to investigate a lot, and that was where I caught my first glimpse of something I couldn't explain. It was a sound that I recorded, but there was no sound at the time.
I think everyone at one time or another has something that they did not quite understand that may have happened to them, whether it was in the middle of the night or walking down a dark road or a door slamming. I'm sure it's happened to you. Well, we're going to take a look at some of these experiences that people have had and share them with you over the next few shows. I hope you enjoy it.
We're going to talk about the unexplained. We're going to talk with people who've had experiences they're just not sure about. I think it's all a bunch of hokey-pokey baloney, but hey, I'll let you decide for yourself.
Yeah, they've had reports here of hearing children playing in the halls, seeing children's voices.
Of all the places in town children could go play, they come to Union Station. Is that? It's going to be a great show.
Well, everyone, this is our first rodeo. We haven't done this before, but it's kind of fun. I've been fortunate over the years. For about 25 years, I've had some association with our museum and with the building here, and 99.9% of the time it was pretty normal. But every now and then there were things that were unexplained, little anomalies, little bumps, little things like I discussed earlier. And so I've always tried to figure out, being a logical guy that I am, do I look logical?
No.
You be quiet. You know, and ironically, Bill came to me and said, hey, would you like to talk about some of these experiences or help host this? And I said, sure, not knowing what he was asking. Did you?
Well, he said I could make fun of somebody, so I was there for that. I didn't know it was going to be you, but it was somebody, so I didn't care.
He didn't tell me about that part. So anyway, we're gonna go through, you know, and we've had some great sponsors here. We have Burger King, who's been a sponsor to this event and also to our Glimpse show. And matter of fact, I'm going to put a shameless plug in. I did have one of their new Whoppers today. It was just terrific. It's got great bacon on it, so guys, go out and buy a Whopper, all right? Like you already haven't done that.
I also had one.
And we'd also like to thank the Retail
Ogden
Outlook
Rocks.
Experience.
Retail Outlet Experience.
Retail Outlet Experience
Yes.
for sharing their furniture with us tonight. And also would like to thank Golden Beverage. Are they the ones who supplied our...
The Bula, yes. It's a relaxation drink. So
you're going to need it.
After this, you're going to be so scared, you're going to need some Bula to go to sleep. And they're selling it right on the other side, as a matter of fact. So,
and I understand Bula somewhere means hello.
I thought
Not
that
necessarily
was
here, but somewhere.
That's aloha.
No, it's Bula to you. So anyway, I'd like to introduce our first victim, gentleman, Gary, who runs Rocks and actually had the opportunity to spend a lot of time while they were developing that ancient building, 1880s, 1890s. Gary, welcome.
Bob, hello.
Welcome.
Well, tell us. You know, you're going to see a little video about this, but
I had the good fortune to have the opportunity to occupy Ogden Rocks building, which is that building on Washington Boulevard at 2314 Washington Boulevard. There are two things that struck me about Ogden Rocks. One of them was the mysterious noises and just feelings that you get. You turn around and there's nothing there. And the other thing was, which is quite unique, and I've never heard about this anywhere else, but when people talk about something haunted, they normally say yes, something normally visual, right? Or that other gentleman was talking about a noise, okay? So here's another thing. I had the experience of having a haunted aroma or a smell.
A haunted...
A smell. No word of a lie, right here.
Was there somebody in the room, and then all of a sudden they left, and then the aroma came? I've had that experience a couple times.
No. Go spend your night at Rocks, and you'll come out smelling like rocks. It was incredible, but not only that though. In exploring the building and its innards, you get a feeling of what was there before you. There's plenty of life in that building, and I think every building that gets to 100 years old, I think that you'll find some presences there, some intelligences that waft around the hallways of these buildings, and if you're discerning them, if you're receptive and perceptive of these, you'll gain some experience for sure. What was that? Mark my words. Go there, and especially, like I said, I had the opportunity overnight to spend numerous nights there, and it was very, very interesting.
Well, I mean, obviously things happen. I mean, Gary. Now, Gary, where are you from?
Do I have to admit that?
He's from
I'm from Africa.
Well, no, I understand that, but I mean, you seem like a reasonable person.
Reasonable, yes.
You know, as opposed to the man who just left the state, Farrell.
Who was not.
And these things have happened, and all these people here seem reasonable, except for maybe two. So anyway, yeah, no, really, I think things do happen. But meanwhile, Farrell.
Yes, what? I didn't do it.
You've never had any of these experiences?
Nothing. As a matter of fact, my sister, she lives in Idaho. She has this house, and it's an old house. And my sister's the sweetest woman on the face of the earth and wouldn't lie to you about anything. But she claims her basement's haunted. And I think she's out of her mind when she tells me these things, because I've slept in that basement a million times and experienced nothing.
Now, is your sister younger or older than you?
She's a little bit older than me by about, 2 years.
Why the hell didn't your parents stop there?
Yeah, well,
okay.
that's a good
At least your sister has a life.
Yeah, well, or an afterlife in the basement, right?
That could be. All right.
Here's the thing, Farrell. Here's the thing. I would invite you to spend a night with me at Rocks, but it might have awkward connotations. So you'll have to go there. You'll have to go there by yourself.
Now you said you were in the Navy, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm not going to go there. Well, anyway, yeah, that would be interesting. I think you should do that, Farrell. A night with a sailor.
Bob, we're gonna make you walk the plank here one of these days.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I think we should go to the video. Are we getting close here, Bill? Okay. This is Rocks right down there, the retail outlet experience.
Yes. Wow. Retail outlet experience.
It is a lot of fun, and I think you'll enjoy this. We're going to be talking to Gary today, who was the gentleman who actually did the renovation on this wonderful building, Ogden Rocks, as you see behind me, and talk to him about some of his experiences as he actually lived here during the renovation and experienced the building. He actually feels like he is part of the building and the building is part of him. So I think you'll find this interesting and very thought-provoking.
When the city engineer, project lead, and the contractor Scott Zurich and I were in this exact spot where we're standing right now, before the build-out took place, we got about discussing the historic nature of the building, and I said to them that I wanted to preserve this little basement apartment right here because I felt like it could be used in a wonderful way. And then Scott Zurich, just out of the blue, said, "That's Bubba's place." And the three of us, I kid you not, the hair stood up on the back of our necks like this, and there was something there. Now, we don't know, and I don't know whether that's really his name, Bubba, Bob, but Bubba, but no, Bubba. But I think that Bubba, who is who we got to know him by, is a benevolent force, if you will, which kind of wrapped its kind of power around us and kind of made us brothers together, the three of us, the contractor, the city engineer, and myself. We were completely on the same page with regard to what our vision was for this building.
So what was it that you felt? I mean, was it a physical feeling that you actually felt when you had this epiphany, or the three of you had this epiphany sitting here at the gateway to Bubba's place?
Well, it was the three of us being influenced, if you will, by forces beyond our knowledge or control. And that's the most succinct way that I can explain that to you. We were all three together being influenced by forces beyond our control to an embodiment of the renovation that is as you see it today.
Hi there, I'm Ron Atencio, and welcome to Mojo's Ogden, Ogden's original all-ages live music venue, where for 7 years we've been playing rock and roll and acoustic music and everything you can imagine. And I think you're here today to see some of our other guests. Well, here we are with Ron downstairs in Mojo's, and this is an area apparently that in investigations they've actually found some shadow figures and so forth, which certainly makes it interesting. Ron calls this Igor's room. Ron, why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Well, this is the very corner of the whole building, which right behind you over here is what is the last of what is an underground entrance that has been concreted up. We'd love to know what's on the other side, but we probably will never know. But yeah, this room has had activity where people have been touched. I've seen shadows. Of course, we caught photographs of something. So we just call this Igor's room. It's the highlight of the whole building to come into Igor's room. I can't tell you how many people ask me if they can go see Igor's room. Not everybody gets to, though.
Yeah,
but Bob does.
It is, thanks. And it is fascinating. You can tell it was one of the original foundations, everything done with the stone and that.
Yep, that's the real thing.
So we're going back here to the 1880s, so
if these walls could talk, huh?
If they could talk, so many stories.
Mm-hmm.
Ron, I know you're involved a lot with the community here and the historic preservation. Do you have any idea what this building, Mojo's, right here in Ogden, off of Washington, was originally?
The best we can tell that this was used as a hardware store at one time, at least originally, and the other side somewhat similar because they have an old hand-pulled elevator that would get the provisions up and down, and they had the wagons. The wagons would come out in the back, and you can see the entrances and the old doors we have. There we are, outside.
You've said you've experienced things in here, or other people have?
Yeah, both. You know, we're sitting right here, which is where, for me, it all started. And the very first show we did, I was taking photographs, and in the photographs, we would get these orbs in it. And I didn't know for sure what they were at first. And every picture I'd go, and I kind of knew of orbs, but I like, whoa, those are quite a few, and we get quite a bit of them. And they come in all colors, different densities. You can see through them sometimes. Sometimes they're solid. They will float. Sometimes they're above people's heads. Sometimes they're right on them. But a lot of times they're right within the area of the music. And sometimes we'll get bolts of light come out really oddly in a photograph, mists sometimes. So for the longest time I thought, well, it must be the spirits right within the room or within the building through its history. And then I started thinking, well, maybe people bring them with. Maybe we're having a big old party here and a big old party there. So we still get a lot of orbs every night, pretty much. Eventually, we started noticing things being moved or things being, just some very odd things being put in other places that you would not really figure they belong. I mean, even the other day, one of our blue glass was turned upside down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Up on that shelf?
Yeah, up on the shelf. Yeah. And why would anybody do that? And it was one of the ones that's a bottle, and so it was set up on the neck, and very odd. I looked at that and thought, that's strange. Why would anybody do that? We used to have knocking on this wall. That ceased, but there was a constant knocking that would happen. It seemed like the stairs going to the downstairs.
No steam pipes here or anything?
No, there's nothing under there. We would look for it, and sometimes it would go fast, sometimes just randomly, like 5-minute intervals. We kind of think we know where that's coming from because thanks to the ghost investigators that have been coming in pretty regularly. They've got some EVP and they've got some, images, and we've had some pretty unusual things happen while they're
here. So the EVP,
here.
That's like a voice where they actually record, and then they record. You listen back to it and say, wow, something responded to it.
Yeah, my name came out one of them. That was a little bit shocking. Yeah.
Mr. Mojo or Ron?
Like old Ron.
Oh, all right, cool.
Ron, who got you? Something like this, like we got you or you got you. We couldn't quite tell, but it was very distinct.
It wasn't Cher, I've got you, baby.
I wish it was.
Oh, no, okay.
The one that's a knocker, according to the Paranormal Pulse group, we find is a young girl named Emma, and she's a biter, and she has bitten a few people. Even
really?
left marks on them. One guy, we were downstairs, And he says,
The paranormal group or
no, this was
your customers?
some of my crew.
Oh, really?
We were down there doing something. He says, I just got bit. And when we came back up, sure enough, he had 2 big teeth marks in his skin.
Holy
And
moly.
we all saw that. And his mouth's about that big, and his mouth was a real tiny little mouth. And the teeth were actually showing, and we watched it as it kind of faded away, just went back to normal.
Right.
So that one was a little bit unexplainable, too. And I've also had somebody else down there that claimed to be bit on the back of her neck. So, and they never knew of each other's incident. We've had touching. I've seen shadows. We've had somebody get scratched once. That was kind of bizarre. And that was upstairs, though. I'm totally at peace with what's happening here. And, even when I hear
nothing
the knocks,
super negative then, you feel threatened in any way. All right, well, here we are with Glimpse and Ron Atencio down here at Mojo's. It's just Ron, myself, and Jim Morrison.
And Jolie.
Oh, and Jolie, yes, our super dog.
Yeah,
all
super
right?
dog, yeah.
So anyway, if you have, I hope you enjoy this, and as much as I have, Ron, is a pleasure. And if you have anybody who'd like to come down and listen to music and that, I'm sure Ron would love to have you come down.
Yeah, don't let the ghost stories scare you away now. They
it's just an enhancement.
They add to the fun.
And that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights?
Right. Yeah,
okay,
8
great.
to midnight.
Oh, that'll look... Especially with the pit bull down there.
Yeah.
Ron, come on up here. Give him a hand as he steps up. Yeah, let's hear it. That would be Mr. Mojo Rising, wouldn't it? How you doing, Ron? Have a seat. Actually, Ron, it was a lot of fun at Mojo's, just spending that time with him. It is a fascinating building, and it's one of those ones where he actually has had physical things happen to some of his folks there. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that, Ron?
All right. Well, I think you did a good job on that little video there. Told a lot of the things that happened. I think the one that's big, the big one is that I've seen where I am not able to explain are the biting, the scratching. I've had other people say they're touched or puff of wind.
His had that problem too.
Why would a ghost scratch or bite somebody? I mean, that just seems nonsensical to me.
Well, I'll give my idea why, because I think it's a pretty good way to get someone's attention, maybe. It's a good way to say, I'm here, because they don't have the ability to speak or human bodies. But apparently they have ability to bite. I don't know. It just happened. I don't have the answer to that. But I saw the bites. We were down there. He says, I got bit. Upstairs, he kind of egged that one on, from what I understand. I wasn't there. I let him go up. And he said, if there's someone here, show us your presence. In the EVP, you hear footsteps. They also videotape that in the, what's it called, the night cameras where you can see, at night because it was pitch black. And infrared. I get my friends here to help me with all that. And you can see him jump, but you can clearly hear the footsteps. And he goes, oh, I'm scratched. And he asked for it. He said, show your sign. And that's... No? What do you think?
There's got to be a better explanation than a random scratch, right? I mean, there's got to be something. Do you think maybe there was like a rake or something and he scratched his back and then he ran up and he said, hey, look, I got scratched? See?
Yeah, most people wouldn't.
Yeah, no. There was no rakes up there, but you never know. Well, we got the video of that, and we also have a picture, which you saw there, of his scratches. It freaked him out pretty good. So I've seen things like mists and shadows. I don't get a lot to me, but others, and I get feelings a lot where something's there or what have you. But
Premonition.
yeah, and that's usually when I lift the camera and take a few, and sure enough, the orbs show up.
Okay, let's just ask the audience, have any of you ever seen something or experienced something physical? Okay, there's a few others, okay.
Did you have a rake in your home at the time?
I think them orbs are like a dirty camera lens, because you know what? I've taken pictures with a flash and my camera's dirty and there's all these dust particles on it.
That's what some people say. They think it's dust. They think it's water spots. These digital cameras are pretty teeny little lenses. I don't know how you get a little tiny little water spot on them, or they catch one little dust particle that you can see through, and one's red, one's blue, one's green, or what have you. And I don't know. I don't have the answer. All I know is I take pictures of them, and they're in all the time.
You know, due to Farrell's lack of experience, don't you all think we should get a life? I mean, get out a little bit, do something. Get out of the basement, quit gaming in his mom's basement. Just do something, get out, experience the world.
I have an idea. Let's get him one of our ghost investigators with the paranormal pulls. Have him come and hang out in the basement upstairs at the bewitching hour.
Now, did he come to your facility?
Want to do it? Come on.
No, I'll go hang out anywhere. I'm not as scared of fake ghosts and such, but so you know when the paranormal group wants to go to Mojo's, tell them give me a call and I'll debunk it all because it's all a bunch of hogwash. But hey, Ron, I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming up here with us.
John, thank you so much. Mojo's, once again, it's a non-drinking establishment, but they have great music on 3 nights a week.
Alrighty, I'm here with John Lee. And John Lee, obviously you're a tarot card reader because you have tarot cards. Can you tell me a little bit about the tarot cards?
Well, the tarot cards consist of 78 cards. These are the oldest form of playing cards that you can see. Like
playing cards, so we can gamble with them, right?
You could gamble with them
yes.
if you know how to use them the right way, I guess. But there are 22 major arcana cards, which are basically like the path of your life. And then there are the 4 suits: swords, cups, pentacles, and wands. But these are actually from the 17th century. No one knows quite where they began, but some people think it was in Italy.
So is there only one set of tarot cards, or is there like...
There are probably like hundreds and hundreds of different kinds.
Depending on what you're doing with how and where and why.
Correct, yes. And different art on the tarot cards and things like that. And some of them have 77 cards, some of them have 78.
And how did you get started in doing this?
I actually went to Salem, Massachusetts, the witch capital of the world, and got my tarot cards read there, had a really accurate reading, and just kind of fell into it. I just love tarot cards now.
Alrighty, cool. Well, let's get it started, shall we?
Okay. Go ahead and shuffle the cards. Ask your question.
Ask my question as I'm shuffling?
Yes. Put all of the thoughts that you have about this question, every detail of the question, ask it while you're shuffling the cards.
So I ask it to you while I'm shuffling it now. I don't want to screw this up. Okay. The question I have, I don't know if I can shuffle these or not. The question I have is, how do you think Glimpse, our television show, is going to go? Are we going to be famous for it? Are we going to go all over, I don't know where, but all over somewhere?
Pick 5 cards.
5.
Place them face down, one on top of the other.
2. 3. 4. I feel like Chris Angel or something. You're going to rip one up and it's going to appear on the other side of the room or something. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I'll have to learn that next on my list of things to do. Next, I'll learn that. So the first card we have is the 2 of Pentacles, and this basically means you have to balance the world of material items, your money and your resources. Am I going to spend more time at school or at work, kind of thing. So with Glimpse, I think the key here is you have got to have enough fun as well as provide people with enough accurate information that they're going to be intrigued to watch your show. You know what I mean?
And why wouldn't they be?
Why wouldn't they be?
That's
This is the best. But this is actually the a Wands card, and this is basically there is a missing link in your process somewhere that you need to find, and it's about taking quick action. You have to go out and look for things to, you know. This show is all about glimpsing, and I think you need to find all the missing links. You know what I mean? What are people not seeing on TV? You need to find those unique things.
I was worried 8 people are showing up with sticks to beat me. That's I was worried that
Yeah, maybe if the show is terrible, then this will happen to you, and people will come out with sticks and
I
hit
hope
you.
not.
The King of Pentacles card is, we've got 2 pentacles here, which means you've got to find these material things and make some money doing this. And this is saying that you need to find this outward focus of abundance. Does that make sense? So
An abundance.
Abundance of what are you trying to do with the show?
An abundance of material, like stories. Bring people stories,
Bring
so they
people
can.
stories that they haven't seen before. Make people feel things that they will not forget. And it's not only that, but just be on top of your game. You're like, be the king of it. Be the king of pentacles. This is your judgment card.
Great.
With the judgment card, you kind of have to look over your life's work, per se. We'll just throw that out there. Say everything that you've done in the past, career-wise, look over that and say, hey, what did I do wrong that I can change? What do I need to throw away? What can I do a little bit better that will cause me to kind of be reborn, in the sense of that this is a new idea. We're throwing away all the old stuff that didn't work before, and it's going to be awesome as long as you are able to judge yourself and get rid of the old things that didn't work. It'll be good. It'll be a good thing for you.
So it's like an editor card.
An editor card,
yes,
definitely. It is. It exactly is. And you have another king here, and this is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is the most compassionate person. He's the one that everybody wants to be around because he's really kind. And I think that a lot of the times with these 2 pentacle cards, you have a lot of ideas, and at the same time you have to be emotionally attached to those ideas, because people can tell. You know what I mean? If you're watching TV and you can see someone who's like acting really fake and not really knowing what they're talking about, you can tell. And I mean, when you find stories and good things to cover, and you are feeling emotionally attached to them and saying, this is how I truly feel about it, and this is what other people can feel about it, I think that will cause people to be more interested in the show. But with the final thing of your reading, this action card is a big deal, because as long as you keep up and go with the times, keep everything fresh.
We got to keep it hip and happening.
Keep it hip and happening. Keep everything new and fresh, and have fun while you're doing it. These are 2 fun cards. You have to have fun while you're doing your job.
Yes.
People can tell the difference.
We try to have fun.
I'm having fun.
Well, there you go.
So I think that's why Glimpse will be good. That's why Glimpse will work.
Very well.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, certainly.
Excellent.
Certainly.
Okay.
I was really kind of waiting for a card for a guy hanging from a tree or something. I'm glad I didn't see that. I don't know.
We could pull it.
Alrighty, folks. Hey, if you would, make a big round of applause for Joanna Lee. She's going to come up here and try to make sense of this nonsense for me. All right, so you said you started reading tarot cards when you went to Salem, Massachusetts, and you had an accurate reading. But, I mean, no offense, but it seems like everything's pretty generalized. I mean, like you read your horoscope and it's like, you're going to get up this morning and go to work. I want to do that 5 days a week, of course. I don't... Explain to me how this tarot card reading works.
You can always find general things to kind of attach certain things about you to, of course. It's like an ink blot test when you go see a psychologist and they say, what do you see in this ink blot? And so you're like, oh, I see animals and owls and boats. And then they take that and they go, well, you're feeling, your mother has abused you in the past, Farrell, because you're seeing this owl.
It wasn't abuse. I deserved everything that I got. That's
the symbols that are on tarot cards have been around for many, many centuries, and it's the symbols that cause these generalizations, as you would call it. I'm still a learning reader. I have a lot to interpret with the tarot cards, but it's the symbols that cause those specific meanings, depending on the question.
Let me ask 2 questions. Just 2 questions real quickly. One, first off, if you're doing this with somebody who doesn't believe,
me,
Farrell,
yes.
Does that impact the results?
I do personally believe that it does impact the results. It's all about your intent.
See?
So say somebody who is sick, you have a terrible disease and you're very sick. If you keep telling yourself, I'm sick, you're just going to get worse. But say you're just a little bit sick. If you keep telling yourself, I'm going to get better, I have this great intent and a positive attitude, your life's going to be golden. So if you have the intent with the tarot cards and you say, I really need to get an answer here, you're going to get an accurate
Let me ask
reading.
one more question. Are you fated at the time of birth to wherever you're going to be? I mean, is this something that's already prescribed?
No, actually, I believe that everyone has the power to create their future and create their lives.
Time for you to get one, Farrell.
You have to get a life, Farrell.
So you lay the cards out and you have me randomly pick 5 cards. I mean, shouldn't you just take the deck and just throw it up in the air and whichever ones land face down are the ones that we want to use? I mean, basically the same thing. It's just a random draw. So how does that, I mean...
When you have the intent of, I need to find some answers in this reading, those specific cards are the ones that you are meant to pull. So if you're drawn to that card, you need this card. That's a certain card that you have. Do you feel like there are certain just physical things in this world that you feel just a special thing about them?
Don't ask him that.
Not really, no. I mean...
Besides your video game controllers.
Well, those are very important to me. I don't know. Well, and also there's some cards you don't want to get. So why don't we just watch the second video and then maybe we'll come up with some more questions for you. Are there any certain cards you really don't want to see or certain cards that are really good to see? Because these seem like they're kind of in the middle. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're not super bad, but they're not super good either. Are there some that are bad and or good?
When I personally do readings, I want to give people the best cards that you can get. And even if you do pull a bad card, I'm still going to try to make it optimistic because you have to have a silver lining. But this to me is the worst card that you can pull because it is just utter chaos. And the reason being is because everybody kind of has this ego inside of them. And when your ego is stricken, you can't have that. You don't want to be, questioned. So this is when chaos is happening in your life. This is when there's an upheaval. If you break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you just don't know what's going on.
Oh,
if
yes.
You lose your job, this is the Tower card, and nobody wants to see this card. I think
that's like worse than the Hangman card then.
Look at them. They're just flying out of the tower, and this represents your ego.
It's not a very good Superman. I mean...
Yeah. His cape is just flying
That's
everywhere.
Right.
But at the same time, with this tower card, this is an enlightening bolt.
As I said, they got electrocuted at the same time they fell.
Definitely. And the reason being is because every time something bad happens in your life, you can learn from it, no matter what it is. If there's a terrible thing that happens that just puts your life into utter upheaval.
Put airbags at the bottom of the tower.
There are.
See?
You know what I mean? As long as you feel like the airbags will be there to help you. It's a bad card. This is the worst card.
You don't want that one. You don't want to see the tower.
This card is probably my favorite card. The Sun card is just being completely yourself, completely enlightened, just feeling carefree, enjoying the harmonies of life.
So when I'm wearing my Speedo, I can tell them, get off me, this is my Sun card. Right? They're trying to throw me out.
Yes.
Sir, you can't wear that. Yes, I can.
Excuse me, but I just pulled the Sun card.
John Lee told me I have the Sun card. I can do whatever I want.
Exactly. Right. Perfect. You will say that. This is another one of the greatest cards you can pull, and it's the World card. And this is after you eat a huge Thanksgiving dinner, and you're sitting around all of your favorite family members.
And you feel sick. Because you ate all that food.
This is a good card.
And it just sits there. Like, oh, it's good.
It's right at your first bite
of the
Thanksgiving
most
meal.
delicious, yes.
Yes. And you're feeling just completely contented. The world is yours because you're surrounded by your loving members of your family. You're about to get full with the most delicious meal.
You've obviously never had Thanksgiving dinner at my house, right? My family.
My Thanksgiving dinners are just picturesque. So I feel like the World card it's when you have the world in your hands, nothing can go wrong at this moment. This is another one of the best cards you can pull. I don't want to give you guys negative cards.
The Wheel of Fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune. This is what life is all about. Is
Pat Sajak on there?
Constantly changing. Everything is moving in circles. As one door opens, another one closes kind of thing. The yin and yang of the world. So the Wheel of Fortune is all about finding your place in the bigger picture of the world in your Wheel of Fortune. So how do you connect to what's going on in politics? How do you connect into what's going on in your religion? Things like that. It's just the Wheel of Fortune, and I think that it's one of my favorite cards because it's all about the connections, the circles. Those are some of my favorite cards. This is the worst one you can pull. These are three of the best ones you can pull.
Yeah, so for one bad card, there's 3 good cards, right?
Yes.
But
I don't
what
think you can ever have a tarot card reading and leave knowing that something bad is going to happen.
Alrighty, well, hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me glimpse into your life.
Oh. Alrighty, Jonalie, so you are actually giving readings over there today, right?
Correct.
And do you do private readings and such?
Of course, yes. I love to do private readings because it's a lot longer. We cover a lot more details of your life, and it's just a lot more fun because you get to say, hey, help me.
And I need all the help I can get. Alrighty, Jonalie, well, hey, we appreciate your time. We'll let you get back to work. Thank you for being here.
It's here for Jonalie.
Well, the first thing I should do is tell you that I've had ghost experiences, and I know that sounds silly. It's something that if somebody else told me that, I probably wouldn't believe them. But I've had these experiences, so perhaps I'm tuned to things. I also don't understand what could cause somebody to see a ghost or where the ghost comes from. All the experiences I had were very peaceful. They weren't scary at all except for one, and that's the one I'd like to talk to you about. In the 1970s, late 1970s, I was in the Army. I had an Army career, and I had been assigned to a unit. I was the security officer for this organization, and the headquarters was on a military installation called Lindsay Air Station, and it was a German military headquarters during World War I and then again in World War II. And in fact, some of the buildings still had remnants of swastikas that had been ground down and so forth, and the wrought iron stairways and things like that. I'd never heard anything about ghosts in this building. I went in and out of it in the middle of the night, never had any issues. But this particular night, it was around midnight that I got a call from the communications center. As the security officer, it was my job to go to the communications center whenever they had a classified message. And then I would take it to my office, which was a block or so away from the communications center. So this particular night, we were in the middle of some war games. After I picked up the message, I came to this building, opened up the front door. There was a set of stairs that went up, and so this would diagram pretty much the second floor. My office was about this location. There was another office here, and then my boss's office, he was an Air Force colonel, was in this area through some French doors. So this is a hallway. So I came up the stairs, went to my office, determined there wasn't anything to do about the message. So I put it in a safe that was here, came back out, and closed this. I had a big metal door here. As I closed it, I had this strong sensation that somebody was down here in my boss's office. And so I never thought about what might be there, but as the security officer, it's my job to check those things. So I went down through these doors, and I saw a person standing right about here, inside the door. I've seen enough World War II movies that I know what a German World War II uniform looks like. And there was a man standing here. I could see him as clearly as I see you. And he was standing here as though he were talking to somebody. There was a chair in here that somebody might have been sitting in that chair, and I was observing him. I couldn't see the person here, but he was looking down and talking to him. I saw clearly that he had a bandage on his looked like a bandage on his left hand. And I could see very clearly that this guy had this uniform on, had the high collar and everything, and I couldn't tell you what the rank was, but he was clearly communicating with this, whatever was down here, but I couldn't hear anything. And as I looked, I could see the street light right here in the middle of the guy's chest. So I was obviously looking right through him. And about that time, this whole thing maybe lasted, 30 seconds. I became extremely cold. It was colder than I've been in a long time. And I could actually see my breath. And I realized whatever I was looking at was not something I was supposed to see. The hairs were up on as I'm talking to you about it, I can feel them going up. I left. I literally ran down the hall, went out the door here, went to my car, went home. I lived about maybe 10 minutes away. I walked in to our bedroom and I woke Ann up and I said, I've seen something. This one was scary. So that's pretty much the story, other than after this, I told my boss, and my boss, who was also a good friend, laughed it off. About a week later, he came into my office early in the morning, and he asked my secretary to leave, and he closed this door here, and he said, if you laugh, and I said, you saw him, and he said, I did. He said, I walked down this hall, and I saw a guy walking into my office, and he said, I realized then that I saw him come through a wall. And he said, I yelled, hey, and when I got to my office, the guy was gone, but he said, I had this chill feeling. So he said, I'm convinced it was the same guy you saw.
Hi, this is Bob. I'm here with Glimpse, and we're at Ogden Union Station, the heart and soul of this community for over 100 years. At one time, if you came or went or did anything at all in the community, you came to Union Station. If it was a telegram, it came from Union Station. If you went to visit your family, you left through Union Station. But over that 100 years, some strange things have happened. I have Cordell here with Paranormal Pulse, who has investigated this facility on several occasions. Cordell, tell me a little bit about what you found here. Now, how many times have you actually investigated here?
Our team has investigated roughly, I think it was about 12 times now. We do it at night. The hallway up on the second floor seems to be very active. Multiple sightings of dark shadows in the hallway there. We have EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon, of a little girl in the ballroom up there and in the hallway.
What was she saying? I mean,
it's mainly been giggling. Giggling. Yeah, we've never really caught her saying anything. She's always laughing.
Really?
Yeah, so I've always assumed she's laughing at us. I don't know.
Maybe she is at the preposterousness of what we do in life.
Yes.
But anyway, all right, what else have you found over the years?
Down in the vaults, there's a lot of, we've picked up male voices down there inside the vaults, not too much in the hallway. Also in the stage area in the theater is really active. Up on stage, numerous footsteps. You can hear people walking. You can hear muffled voices in the back of the stage area. We've had several investigators seeing outlines of people walking in the back area of the theater.
How do you explain it? Is it people are no longer with us? Is it a dimensional thing? Or do you have a theory on that?
Well, I have multiple theories, and that's one thing I struggle with because I still try to rationalize. And we don't ghost hunt, we investigate. And so the investigation continues. That's why we're still here, and that's why we're here tonight. We're still trying to find the answers. And yes, I do have some theories about that, and everything from quantum physics on through. But the one thing I have come to the conclusion of, and the part I'm no longer a skeptic, is that there is some form of consciousness that's there. Where it's coming from, why it's here, I don't know. That's what I'm still searching for.
So really, you look for anomalies,
yes,
and then try and define the reason for that anomaly.
Yes, and we take the investigation part very seriously, and that's just it. We don't ghost hunt. We try to collect as much data as possible and try to narrow that down and figure out what is really going on. And the collection of data is the critical part. You can't just go into a place one time and declare it haunted. At least I don't think.
Cordell, come on up. Cordell from Paranormal Pulse. Thanks, Cordell. Yeah, it strikes me pretty close to home, as I mentioned earlier. spent a lot of time here at the station over the years, and the hallway upstairs he was talking about is one where my wife and I have experienced some strange things as far as, I guess, visions or whatever. And it always seemed to be pretty active when I was at the station here, including haze and purple swirly things, and just kind of, I wasn't drinking that much. Okay, so anyway, Cordell, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've experienced here, much to what we're discussing, also how you go about this.
Well, like you saw in the video, we've done this place, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 times, and I want to thank Union Station too, by the way, because it's places like this that allow us to get in, that allow us to do this, and so I really appreciate it. The second floor here seems to be the most active, in my opinion. There's numerous reports. It's almost like every other person that goes up there sees a dark shadow. I personally have never seen one up there, by the way. And we use IR equipment, we use video. We have about, in our group, we have over $30,000 in equipment. And we've heard voices up there. I've personally witnessed and heard footsteps coming down the wood hallway. Right. Up there. We've caught numerous EVPs, one of a woman up there, also one of a girl.
So you know why you've never seen that? Because there's no such thing as that. That's all there is to it. I mean, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. I don't know. What do you think? What about these ghost hunter shows that you see on TV? What's the credibility with those guys? Because I mean, there's some corny, cheesy stuff on there, really.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22 for us. It's everybody, you know, one of the reasons why all you guys are interested is because of all the TV shows. It's really helped us get into places like Mojo's, for example. So that's been good for us. But the bad part is, yeah, there's a lot of things they do. I don't want to mention the particular shows. There's one with a guy that really probably needs a little larger T-shirt, and that's all I'll say.
Has the big guns?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know which one that is.
His T-shirt keeps getting smaller every episode. But, you know, we don't do that. I mean, that's strictly entertainment. And you really got to view those shows as entertainment. They have some validity to them. They use, obviously, we use some of the same techniques, some of the same equipment. And you have to remember, too, the equipment that we use, 90% of it was never developed or designed, or nobody came up with it to hunt ghosts. It had a different purpose. And so when you hear these theories on television, like with EMF, oh, there's a presence of a ghost when EMF or the K2 goes off, you have to remember that's just a theory. They present it sometimes as fact, but in my mind it's still theory, and we're still trying to figure out what is going on.
So have you ever been scared, like freaking out?
I wouldn't say scared. There's been some interesting times. I've been physically attacked. Oh, yeah, there you go. Well, you are going to Mojo's with us, right?
Yeah, are we going right now? Or?
No. We'll set up an investigation. Ron is still there. We're going to take you to Mojo's, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll go for sure. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. There's nothing to be scared of.
All I hope is attacked. Yeah, do it.
So in these investigations, I mean, have you ever had, like, I don't know, 3 teenagers, a hippie, and a talking dog show up in a green van and thwart somebody's plan that they're hiding? Has that happened yet?
Scooby-Doo?
No, that hasn't happened.
Okay, that was fun.
All right, folks, Paranormal Pulse, let's hear it for him.
All right, let's hear it for Cordell.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right, so I think we got just one more video, right?
Is this Roberta?
Yes.
Okay, hey, let me tell you a little bit about the station, for those of you who don't know. Well, first off, this was the post office. Does anyone know that? The witch on the left of mine knows that.
The witch on the left of mine. Are you going to let him get away with that?
My wife, my lovely bride, okay? All right. But anyway, this was the post office. The railroad used to move all the mail. This end of the building was the Southern Pacific offices. The other side was the Union Pacific. On both ends downstairs are vaults. And there's about 8 vaults on each end. They're very large vaults. And this building burned down, I believe it was in 1928. But it was burned down, it was rebuilt in 29 on the foundations because it did not burn below decks. It's about 8 inches of concrete underneath the main building. And all those vaults down there date back to 1889. And it's really fascinating. All your large payrolls, your gold and silver shipments from the mines up in Montana, down to the mints transferring funds between San Francisco and Denver, all would have probably ended up in that down in those vaults as they transition trains. So this building really does have a unique history. And I'll tell you a little bit, the area that Cordell was talking about upstairs was kind of a no man's land. It's now what we call the Myra Powell Gallery, but it was a crossover between the two areas, the Union Pacific and the Southern Pacific. Well, anyway, the vaults downstairs, Roberta Beverly, who's the director down here with the foundation, took Bill on a tour of the vaults, okay? And I think that's an interesting video. It's a lot of fun down there. Two of the vaults are still used for storage of collections. The others are used just for storage of everything from light bulbs to toilet paper. So, but anyway.
Can you tell me a little bit about these vaults? I mean,
they were for the safety of the payrolls, gold and silver being transshipped across the country. The building, the foundation dates back to 1889, so it was just 20 years after the Transcontinental Railroad was completed. So these vaults came from Nevada, and held the silver from the Nevada mines and gold. And
so at one time there was a whole bunch of money down here in these.
That's right. That's right. It was safe. Look at these babies.
Big old giant. Holy smokes. Yep. I mean, do you got to remember all the combinations of these, or they got them so you can't lock them anymore?
2 that have combinations now.
Only have 2, huh?
2 that are locked.
2 that are locked.
Right.
And why do you lock them?
Because there's valuable things in both of them.
Oh, really? Man. What? Can you tell me the combination? Well, it was worth a try. I don't know.
Actually, I don't know. So.
Whoa, man.
So, and here's vault number 8. This one's locked.
Oh, that's a locked one.
That's a locked one.
Have you experienced anything unusual or creepy down here before?
Yeah.
Really?
Really? No.
Because to me, it's just kind of an old basement. I mean, really,
Well, most of the creepy things that I've experienced have involved something with 6 or 8 legs.
Oh, well, see, that goes to being the dirty part, right?
Well,
4 legs, long tails.
Yeah, well, 4 legs?
Yeah, long tails.
Oh, no, I've never seen anything like that.
You've never seen a mouse or a rat down here?
Never. No, we don't have those.
You guys go ahead and got the exterminator out here every week. It's just the spiders. It's
just the spiders, and then there's some 6-legged critters as well that we don't.
Well, So, I mean, you hear a lot of myths and a lot of goofy things, but you ain't never had like a ghost go by you.
No, but no, I have not had a ghost go by me.
You know why you haven't? Because there's no such thing.
Because I don't believe in ghosts.
See, me either.
But let me tell you, I do have a sense of this building, because so many people have come through the building that we leave a little bit of ourselves, either our personality or something of our essence behind, and that still is here in this building.
Yeah, I think it's when there's some wet cement, someone put a shoe print back there.
There's some of that too. Yeah.
Yes.
Bodies in there under the dirt.
There's people buried down here?
We're still looking. Yeah, we're still looking.
You're still looking?
Jimmy Hoffa, he may be here.
No. You know what this reminds me of, though? When you open that up, I thought it was going to be like Al Capone's vault. Remember when Geraldo spent all that time and money opening the vault, and there was like a piece of paper or something in there?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I mean, at least you guys use these for storage.
Yes, we use them for storage.
And 2 of them are locked up that no one can get into.
Are locked, right. Yes. And the other one that's locked is right behind you.
Number 10. That'd been cool if it would have knocked back. All right, Roberta. Hey, well, thank you. I really appreciate your time and coming down here and show me this, because this isn't something you get to see every day, so I really appreciate it.
No, this is something special down here, so you're a lucky man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, that's really fun down there, you know, and it's rare that people get to go down there, but it is kind of an interesting place, so, and it does date way back. Hey, Witch in the funny glasses. Witch Genie. What? You've been down there. What do you?
Oh, it's fabulous.
Isn't it interesting?
Very.
Now, you worked here for a few years. I'm just picking on that particular witch. You may ask which one, but I'm sorry, it was a cheap shot. Have you ever had any kind of odd experiences here as we close this up?
Not here, because I always said, I'm friendly, you're friendly, we're good.
Okay.
I know all of it.
Yeah. We had a lot of employees here. They used to go, as a matter of fact, I had an employee here one time, lasted about 3 days, and said, I'm out of here. Okay? So it's always kind of fun to walk through here at night. All right. Well, I think we need to thank some folks here.
Yes, we want to thank Golden Beverage. They had the bula. Did you say it was hello or goodbye? I don't know. Somewhere in the world it says hello, or it could mean something else.
And Burger King. Well, Burger King
Yes.
was there. They're great sponsors for us.
They brought us some sandwiches, and they're good. The brand new Whopper.
Yeah, just
Go out and get
terrific.
that.
Love that. And also, of course, Retail Outlet Experience.
Yes, Rocks, Ogden Rocks. I really appreciate it. Let us have these wonderful furnishings, if you will. Make sure you go down there and check Ogden Rocks out, because they really do have some cool stuff down there.
And don't forget to go to Rocks, go to Mojo's, go to any place that you think things go bump in the night. Have some fun. Don't listen to him.
It's a bunch of crap, I promise. Well, we'll talk to the Paranormal Pulse people, and we'll go to Mojo's, and we'll do another show, and I'll debunk it right there. The ghost shows will go away. All this stuff will go away, because it's all a bunch of
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks a million.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Really appreciate your time.
Farrell, that wasn't there a moment ago.
Wasn't it?
No,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, exactly.
Did you feel something on your chest?
Did you?
No, but I feel a lot of embarrassment right now because I tripped over that in front of everybody.